Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Siti Mesara binti Mano, and today I would like to present about carbohydrate. What is carbohydrate? Carbohydrate is an organic compound that contains carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, and its general formula is C6H12 and OC. There are two types of carbohydrates, which are simple and complex. Simple is known as saccharide and complex is known as polysaccharide. Okay, in this saccharide, it has two compositions which are monosaccharide and disaccharide. Monosaccharide is known as simple sugar and disaccharide is double sugar. And the common example for monosaccharide are glucose, fructose, galactose, and for disaccharide is known as maltose, lactose, and sucrose. And for the polysaccharide, there are starch, fiber, and glycogen. I have provided the carbohydrate map to make you all understand. Okay, for simple carbohydrate is monosaccharide that are glucose, fructose, and galactose. When these monosaccharide combine, it will form disaccharide. There are sucrose, maltose, and lactose. Sucrose is a table sugar, maltose is breakdown of starch, and lactose of dairy product. And as you can see, sucrose is from the glucose combined with the fructose as glucose for fructose. And maltose is glucose and which combine with the glucose and glucose. And the lactose is glucose and which combine with galactose, glucose with galactose. These are the form of monosaccharide. And from the complex carbohydrate which is polysaccharide, there are starch. Starch is from the plant product, and fiber is from the ingestible by humans, glycogen from the animal. So next, I will move to the monosaccharide and disaccharide. Monosaccharide, as I said, that it is a simple carbohydrate and its general formula, as you can see, C6H12OC, because it's a simple and it's a single carbohydrate. And three major monosaccharide is glucose, galactose, and fructose. And monosaccharide is digestion of complex carbohydrate. Okay, you can see this, the general formula for the three of monosaccharide. Okay, we move to the disaccharide. Disaccharide is the pair of monosaccharide. There are three major disaccharide, which are sucrose, lactose, and maltose. And this is the general formula for disaccharide. They are sucrose, lactose, and maltose. Okay, I had to mention you to form monosaccharide. To form disaccharide from the monosaccharide, there is process that known as condensation, that is release of water. For polysaccharide, there are starch. Okay, starch. The example for starch is grain, and for fiber such as fruit and vegetable. Glycogen, as we know, glycogen is the energy and it's stored in muscle 60% and in liver is 40%. Okay, so we move to the carbohydrate digestion in the GI tract. So firstly, from the starch, when we eat starch food, from the salivary glands secrete saliva into the mouth to moisten the food, and the salivary enzyme amylase begin to digest. And as you see in this, starch will convert or will produce small polysaccharide maltose, that is the enzyme is amylase, and it's go to the food is flow to the stomach. The stomach acid inactivate the enzyme, and it will stop the starch digestion, and until the food go to the small intestine and pancreas. The pancreas produce an amylase that is released through the pancreatic duct into the small intestine. And in this diagram, as you see, the starch go to the small polysaccharide polysaccharide and disaccharide throughout the pancreatic amylase, that is enzyme, and then disaccharide enzyme on the surface of the small intestinal cell hydrolyze the disaccharide into monosaccharide. As you see, maltose go to glucose plus glucose from the maltase enzyme, and sucrose through the sucrase and produce fructose and glucose, and lactose from the lactase go to galactose and glucose. This is where the intestinal cell absorb this monosaccharide. Then we move to the fiber from the mouth. The mechanical action of the mouth crush and tear the fiber in food and mix it with the saliva to moisten it for swallowing. And from this, the food will go through the stomach, and the fiber is not digested, and it delay the gastric emptying. And from this stomach, it go through the small intestine, where if the fiber is not digested, and it delay the absorption of other nutrients. From this small intestine, it go to the large intestine, where the most fiber pass intact through the digested tract to the large intestine. Here, the bacterial enzyme digest fiber, which is as you see in this arrow. Some fiber go to through the enzyme will produce fatty acid and gas. So the fiber hold water, and it regulate bowel activity and bind substance such as bile, cholesterol, and some minerals, and carrying them out of the body. I had explained about the digestion of GI tract, right? And so we move to the carbs absorption. Carb absorption is absorbed as monosac that is in a small intestine, and it is absorbed monosac enter the capillaries and flow to liver, and it's converted to glucose. Right, I had drawn it, and the absorbed glucose travel to liver or remain in the bloodstream to maintain blood glucose level. And so we move to the carb function. Carb function is for the storing glucose as glycogen. As I said, it's stored in a muscle and liver, and it's storing glucose for energy and sparing body protein, preventing ketosis, which is fat provide fuel in cell. So cell required the small carbs to break down fat and release the energy. And as you see, if there is no carb, the liver produce ketone bodies. So if there is too much ketone in blood, there is called ketosis, and it will cause the negative effect in body, such as you will feel stuff and diabetes mellitus, and the other negative effect. So I recommend for carbs intake in a general. I recommend 55 to 60% calories for individual in age more than 2 years old, and diet of 2000 kilocalories per day. And the food guide for pyramid per serving is 6 to 11 serving, such as bread, cereal, rice, and pasta. And 2 till 4 is serving is for fruit, 3 to 5 for vegetable, 2 to 3 serving for milk. So for athlete it is a different, because it needs 50 to 70% total energy, and 6 to 10 grams depends on gender and type of sport. Okay, carbohydrate loading is where glycogen loading, carbon loading, muscle glycogen supercompensation is known as what I said about this. And the carbohydrate loading is to maximize muscle and liver and the glycogen store and on the onset exercise. It is to enhance endurance performance that is more than 2 hours. And the carbohydrate loading is not suitable for the sport involve jumping, sprint, short distance less than 10 km and swimming. So for the technique in carbohydrate loading, we need to gradually tempering of vigorous training, and we need to emphasize high carb meal few days to a week before competition. Okay, we move to how to regulate our blood glucose level. As you can see, this is the normal blood glucose level. There is the imbalance of the blood glucose level. If there are high blood glucose level, rising blood glucose, the pancreas will stimulate insulin and stimulate glycogen formation. As you can see, glucose will form to the glycogen, and insulin go to the tissue cell, and when it stimulate, it fall to normal. But different to the declining blood glucose, where the pancreas will release the glucagon, and it stimulate the glycogen breakdown, which is glycogen convert to glucose, and it will rise to normal. This is the diagram or the flow how to regulate blood glucose level. So we move to the carbs and health. Carbs and health, there are sugar and nutrient intake. Low energy needs such as for elderly and the person that need to lose weight, they can't afford calorie for the high carbohydrate. And sugar and dental caries. The high sugar intake will form to dental caries or cavities. And complex carb and obesity. The complex carb and obesity, which healthy body weight and low risk of obesity when you take the carbohydrate. And complex carb and type 2 diabetes, it will decrease the risk of type 2 diabetes. And the complex carb and cancer, as I said, that fiber such as fruit and vegetable, they have the antioxidants to dilute the cancer. And complex carb and cardiovascular disease, it will lower blood cholesterol by 20% or more. Okay, I will explain to you about the negative health effect of excess dietary fiber, which there are two. First, the increasing intestinal gas and bloating, and it will prevent mineral absorption. And this will avoid by we do the diet. Favorite diet, which are ketogenic diet, Atkins diet, the zone diet, Mediterranean diet, and raw food diet. To know about the carbohydrate, I will show you the video about it.
Carbohydrates are biomolecules that are composed of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen atoms in the ratio of 1 to 2 to 1. We can represent the proportion of these elements within carbohydrate molecules with the formula CH2O. Most carbohydrates are characterized as either monosaccharides, disaccharides, or polysaccharides. The term saccharide is just another word for sugar. The prefixes mono, di, and poly refer to the number of sugars in the molecule. Mono means one, so a monosaccharide is a carbohydrate made of 1 unit of sugar. The prefix di means two, so a disaccharide is a carbohydrate made of 2 units of sugar. And poly means many, so a polysaccharide is made of many sugar units bonded together. Let's talk about monosaccharides first. Monosaccharides are the building blocks, or monomers, of all carbohydrates. Common monosaccharides include glucose, fructose, and galactose. Glucose is by far the most abundant monosaccharide. It's water-soluble, easily transported through an organism, and is the energy source for cellular respiration and the production of ATP. Fructose is the primary monosaccharide found in fruits and plants, and galactose is the primary monosaccharide found in milk. All of these monosaccharides are 6-carbon sugars with the chemical formula C6H12O6. They can be depicted chemically as either straight chains or rings. Disaccharides are formed when monosaccharides are joined together through dehydration reactions, forming what are called glycosidic linkages. Common disaccharides include maltose, which is made up of 2 glucose molecules, sucrose, also known as table sugar, which is made up of glucose and fructose, and lactose, or milk sugar, which contains glucose and galactose. Polysaccharides are formed when glucose monomers link together to form long chains. These long chains of glucose units are ideal for storing energy. The chains can be straight or branched. Plants store energy in the form of amylose, which has straight chains, or amylopectin, which is branched. Animals differ from plants in that they store energy in the form of glycogen, which is a highly branched polysaccharide that can be broken down quickly to supply energy to tissues. Other polysaccharides, such as cellulose, chitin, and peptidoglycan, serve as structural molecules in organisms. The most abundant polysaccharide is cellulose. Cellulose is a straight-chain polymer of glucose, like amylose, but it differs in the configuration of the bonds between the glucose units. Most organisms are unable to break these bonds and cannot use cellulose as a source of energy. Instead, cellulose is used to add strength to plant cell walls. Chitin is a structural polysaccharide found in animals and fungi. It makes up the exoskeleton of insects and crustaceans. Its unique properties are a result of chitin having amino groups attached to its sugar monomers. Peptidoglycans are complex polysaccharides found in the cell walls of bacteria. The macromolecule is both flexible and rugged due to its structure. Each monomer of the polysaccharide has a peptide chain attached to it. Often, we refer to carbohydrates as being either simple sugars or complex carbohydrates. Monosaccharides and disaccharides are commonly referred to as simple sugars. The term complex carbohydrates refers to the polysaccharides.
I think that's all from me. Throughout